DSLR camera for beginners. The DSL marketplace is absolutely swamped with competing models these days. In today's video, I'm going to show you 4 of the better DSL models to choose from. If you're a beginner just starting out, or maybe you're stepping up from an all-in-one digital pocket camera and you want a bit more to work with. The models I'm going to look at today are all very reputable brand names. We've got Canon, Nikon, Pentax, and Sony. Okay, first up, let's look at the Canon EOS Rebel T3. The EOS brand is a long history. It's been around for over 25 years, with the digital version about half as old. The Rebel T3 will work well under low light conditions. It's got an ISO rating that goes from 100 up to 6400. Now, the ISO rating is really something that's carried over from the film days. The lower number, the more sensitive your film would be to the image you're shooting. Or in other words, it's always better to shoot at, let's say, 100 ISO than 1000 ISO if you have enough light to do so. Almost all cameras nowadays will adjust for this automatically. However, you should be warned that just because a camera can shoot under very low light conditions, it doesn't mean that you're going to be provided with an image that has a lot of detail in it. The sensors are much better than they used to be, but for me, I always prefer to shoot with more light than less. The viewfinder on this Canon is 2.7 inches when it's measured diagonally across the screen. Now, not the biggest, but still plenty of screen to view when you're shooting video. Now, the Canon Rebel T3 does not have the largest sensor of this comparison group. It'll record up to 12 megapixels. The Nikon I'm about to tell you about records up to 24 megapixels. However, over the years, I've shot more professional video on a Canon DSLR than any other brand. I've never been disappointed. I'm a big fan of the Canon line. Nikon is another quality brand out in the marketplace. The entry-level DSLR that I'm putting into this comparison group is the Nikon D3200. As with the other cameras, this camera shoots stills as well as video. One very nice feature the D3200 has is that you can shoot stereo sound with it. The camera comes with a built-in microphone that records in mono only, but you can add your own stereo mic through a mini plug input to record stereo audio. The camera records HD video up to 1080p. Many on the market will only go up to 1080i. Now, this is a bit of marketing hype, however, because I would defy most viewers to be able to discern the difference between 1080i and 1080p. The I is for interlace and the P is for progressive scan, in case you're wondering, but that's for another video. I digress here. As mentioned earlier, the Nikon has a very large sensor within the camera body, recording up to 24 megapixels. It also comes with the largest monitor, tied with the Pentax, which is 3 inches in size. Sony's entry into this comparison group is the Sony Alpha A58. This camera will record still images with a sensor that's quite large. It weighs in at 20.1 megapixels. Sony also boasts video recording up to 1080 60i recording in AVC HD. This is the only camera in the group to use AVC HD. This is a format that Sony developed with Panasonic, and it's known as Advanced Video Coding High Def. The Alpha A58 has a 2.7-inch monitor on the back for monitoring. Now, Sony, they use lenses manufactured by other companies. They don't do their own. Alpha A58 has a Minolta Konica glass out front. Sony's been around for years and is better known in the video market than the photography market. I've spent far more time using Sony products simply because I work primarily in the video production industry. But they've made strong inroads into the consumer DSLR field, and they do produce a reliable product. The final camera we're going to look at is from Pentax, the K500. It's a solid camera, but does lag ever so slightly in image quality. This camera's sensor falls in between the Canon and Nikon models. The Pentax K500 has a 16 megapixel sensor. Video capturing is very impressive. It'll record in full 1080p HD video at 30 frames per second, or you can do 720p if you want to record at 60 frames per second. This may sound like a nice option to have, but in reality, as I said earlier, it's more marketing than anything else. Sometimes I feel it's best to shoot at a slightly lower resolution just to ensure you'll get more recording time out of the record medium you've got. All of the cameras in our comparison group use SD, SDHC, or SDXC storage cards. I have a bit of a soft spot for Pentax products, as my first SLR camera was the Pentax K1000, but I'm dating myself a little here. It was an extremely reliable camera at the time. In the final analysis, none of these choices are going to lead you astray. They're all very good models sold by solid companies that have good long track records. I have my biases, as you've heard in this video, but I've used 3 of the 4 companies' products and I have never been disappointed. Like with anything, once you get your hands on the model and spend some time shooting with it, it'll become second nature to you, and your skills as a photographer, videographer will grow rapidly. Happy shooting. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to give me a like down below, and also to subscribe to my channel so I can share additional videos filled with tips on how to create better images and videos. Thanks for watching, guys.